Hello, everybody. This is Stefan with Verdant Ride, brought to you by BAWLS Guarana beverage. And today we're going to find out if the anti-gravity A1 and its sky path feature can do what I need it to do. And one feature that I do see missing from here is the ability to set speeds independent at each waypoint. And that might be a problem for what I need to do with it. So let's find out if we can make this work, even though we know we can't set independent speeds for waypoints. And the goal here is I want it to be able to follow me through a race course, matching my speed and being able to follow me around and such. So let's see what we can do here.
Home point updated.
So I've got this GS-style race course, sky path feature on here, and let's create a new route. And we'll just start right here, and we're going to try to keep it all the same height off the water. Let's go for 8.5 feet, just above my head this way. And let's log a point here at our starting line. Then let's log another point right on the other side of the starting line at 8 feet off the water. Right here. So that way I'll get lined up and I figure my body will be over here and I'll take off and it'll fly right over this line. Then you have to go around this buoy here. I'm not going to fly to that, but I am going to fly to this one. I think I'll line all these up right with the buoys, and let's keep this consistently 8.5 feet off the water. We'll log a point right here, nice and close to these buoys. I know I'm going to be here. Then I'm going to cruise out to the next double pole G slalom point, which is right here. And I'm going to keep the drone on the inside to keep its speed high. 8.5 feet off the water. Click. There's my fourth waypoint. Then I'm going to cruise out to these. Perfect, 8.5 feet off the water there. Then to our halfway point. So this is like our halfway buoys. Float to this one. Let's get 8.5 feet off the water here. And we'll go right between these, I think. Perfect. Then we'll go back to these. And then I think that on my way back, I'll go right between these buoys. It's either a great idea or a really stupid one. It's at 8.5 feet off the water. It's going to be like seeing me and be like, I can't fly there because there's a person there if we're in the same place at the same time. Or it might be really cool if it's just ahead or just behind me, then it'll be following right through my path. Whoa, overshot that one a little bit. 8.5 right there. I'm about in between, roughly a little bit forward here. Lock it in right there. Then our last double pole gate, same thing here. I know this course takes me about a minute to finish. So we're going to try to set us. Ooh, look at that tree right here. Holy cow. I've checked this one out. It's about 7 feet under the surface. So I don't think there's any chance of anyone hitting it. Plus you'd be racing poorly. That is way too wide for you to be doing well in this course. But yeah, look at that tree, guys. That is how stumpy my lake is. I might want to throw a blue buoy on. I know it looks really close to the surface, but I've actually taken an oar and stuck it into the water, and I can't touch it with the oar, which tells me that's about 7 feet deep there. It looks really close, though. Crap. All right, and then this one, I go around the outside of this one, and I want to be 8.5 feet off the water here. I wish I could lock that 8.5 feet. You can do that with DJI. You can like tell it what its altitude should be. Yeah, so there's a couple of software features in DJI that they haven't added to this, but I would really love it if they did. And then I'm going to just go like, we'll call this like the follow through. So I should be like turning around right about here. And so we'll come out here and get that nice cam shot of the guy, you know, the riders coming in here and turning around and feeling all victorious or dejected by their performance, depending on how they did. All right, let's Let's do this. Let's see, add a waypoint. Short press to delete the last waypoint. Hold down to finish. So here it is. We're going to, so right now it's going to take 121. We want to speed this up. 13.5 is way too slow. 22 miles an hour, 20 miles an hour. That's a little under a minute. 56. That's about what it takes for me to finish this course. Save. All right, let's try it. Let's start it. Let's see how well it does.